I've heard that Edmonton and Toronto haven't specifically spoken about McMann yet. I think there's intrigue, I would say, from Edmonton's perspective. I think he fills a lot of needs. I think most importantly to Edmonton with the cap situation, $1.35 million, you can get some cap retention. It's just weird because I'm interested in the wording of the Maple Leafs. Like from what I hear from the Maple Leafs camp poking around, they're looking for guys who can be on the team right now to help win right now. And maybe they're in that weird position where we're going to buy, we're going to sell. So ultimately, you look at Edmonton, I think Quinn Hudson could be a name of interest, who's a guy, and you guys can speak better, this is on the periphery, could be an NHL player, has had a really good season in the AHL. So I think they're going to have to get creative, but I think you guys started the show, like the amount of revenge games last night. It's pretty amazing. Like Edmonton, they love Maple Leafs players. So would I be shocked in the slightest if Bob McMann ends up in Edmonton? Probably not. I think it's going to happen. I just think from the Maple Leafs perspective, are you willing to go 5x5 with Bob McMann? I have my reservations on that.
Would that be worth it for him? Like, what do you think a contract could look like for him? Yeah.
Well, I think because the market is not what we expected it to be a year ago. Like Alex Tuck for me is the big one, where it's like, how bad do you want to be in Buffalo? I know he's from nearby Rochester, but if that guy gets to the open market, some idiot GM is going to pay that guy more than he deserves. So to answer your question, like I think McMahon's a guy that falls in line, at least with this deadline. You talk about versatility, and I bring it up a lot. Like I always look back to Colorado or Terry Lehkonen. That pickup put them over the top.
Yeah.
Ivan Barbashev with Vegas and the St. Louis deal. Like I thought that was massive for them. I do think, and this is me not just being like a Toronto homer building up McMann, I think he's a component a team Edmonton can use because of his versatility. He's fast, he could shoot the puck, he could finish, he could play on the first line, he could play on the fourth line. So if I'm the Maple Leafs, I'm building up a market for this guy, and I think at the very least they'd love to recoup a first-round pick, but I think from the Edmonton perspective, they're going to try to dangle something else if you catch my drift.
I think too, and I'm not comparing these two players, but last season in the playoffs, Connor Brown had a lot of success in Edmonton because you could play him up and down the lineup. And when he was in your bottom six, he was playing well and he was able to score a few goals. And the Oilers don't have that guy. Like I think Kaplan's a good player. I just don't expect much from him often. But when it comes in like great spurts. But when it's cold, it's like you're a full-fledged player.
He's a poor man's version of that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the Oilers need to find players like that. And I think McMahon could be it. But do you suspect it would probably be a first-round pick?
I think that's what they're going to probably try to get. Having said all that, I just hope, Edmonton wasn't watching the playoffs last year. Okay. Bob McMann infamously went to wrap the season. I think it was 24 straight games he did not score, including 13 straight in the Stanley Cup playoffs, which, how do you trade that guy to a team that's looking to win a Stanley Cup? But aside from that...
Trent Fredericks? Oh, my gosh.
Who is Trent Frederick? I think you got to build this market up if you're Brad Treliving, and I think this is more a case that it gets closer and closer. I for sure think there's going to be a story that comes out in the next month. Maybe the Leafs are looking to re-sign Bob McMann. I think you got to be so careful with the media narrative this time of year where it's like what's truly happening behind the scenes. I think you're going to... I honestly feel like the Leafs and the Oilers are really good trade partners. I think so too. I wouldn't just look at him. I'd look at Scotty Lawton, who's been pivotal. Nicolas Waugh, who has won a Stanley Cup with Vegas, knows how to play Vegas. I think there's a potential if the Oilers get back to where they want to be, they'd have to go through Vegas. So, I think there's a match there, even on the blue line. Like, there's a lot of guys, and it'd have to be very creative cap-wise, but there's a lot of guys who would make sense.
Imagine Troy Stetcher in an Edmonton Oilers jersey.
No, I can't.
Troy Stetcher.
That was great. I interviewed him. I'm like, well, are you looking forward to your return? He's like, no, I'm a suitcase.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Everyday, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video.